getting us a perspective of what this means. On the broadcast, to help us understand how this impacts your child who might be aspiring to study in the United States of America is Naveen Chopra, founder and chairperson, the Chopras TC Global, as well as Pradeep Rawat, who is, of course, a voice of a parent and several parents who might be very, very concerned at the moment. Good morning and namaskar to both of you, gentlemen. Pradeep Rawat, can I understand from you first what is the first thought as a parent that comes to your mind when you see a decision like this being taken at a peak time when, this is the time when the student visa interviews do take place for people to go and study for higher education in the United States of America?
Thank you, Shreya, first of all, for having me on the show. It's actually a fact that suddenly every second day, a new kind of rule comes up, especially for students.
Yeah.
And you, as well as I, very well know that anything that happens to a rule regarding the students going to America or US, that affects all the parents, especially the ones who are interested in sending their children to the higher studies.
Yeah.
Problem is parents do not understand children who's aspiring to go to US. He or she might have made a simple post on anything which is going around and running around on social media, but that single post could actually bar her or him from going to US for higher studies. So what I need to understand is how come a simple harmless post which was made on social media could impact the whole career of a child or a student. And that
Pradeep, hold that thought. Let me get in Naveen Chopra into this. Naveen Chopra, are these social media posts as simple and harmless as perhaps we would like them to be, or we think they are? Because there are several cases and, there are still cases in the present where students have been very heavily involved in politics, in wars, and of course, the US college campuses and university campuses have also been very, very sharply divided when it comes to wars and protests surrounding it. Are they harmless, and should that be a consideration then by a country to bar people from coming for higher education?
Well, look, they're absolutely harmless, and it is the norm for human discourse. Also, the tragedy here is that the United States is the country that has been the flag bearer of freedom of speech and freedom of thought, which is now being hammered by President Trump. I think that the people who are laughing all the way are Xi Jinping and Putin, because they don't need to attack America. The president of America is attacking America very, very, very well. The United States has been built to the preeminent position that it has been built because of the policies and practices that came into being 200 years ago and were embedded over the 200-year period, which have been decimated in a matter of weeks by our new president. He doesn't seem to realize that he himself is a German extraction, if I'm not mistaken. Elon Musk is South African extraction. Most of the scientific developments and the technology that has happened, the building of the United States has happened with people who have migrated from other countries, third countries. The US has been the dream. China is not the dream, although he's making sure that it'll become the dream. But China is not the dream. The USA is the dream. This is where dreams are fulfilled. This is where you go and you are, your whole persona is extended. So they are actually shutting down the best minds that exist on planet Earth, because it's the best minds who have been going to the United States consistently for decades. Okay, so this is going to boomerang. The MAGA movement, the Make America Great Again, I really don't understand. America is already great. What do you mean by Make America Great Again? I mean, in actual fact, you're destroying it. And most of the people who are his supporters, the MAGA supporters, are people who are the majority of them. I mean, there are, college graduates also who are supporting him.
Okay.
But a large number are high school, or school sort of pass outs, for whom brawn muscle is greater than brain.
Okay, okay. I'm afraid I'll have to wrap this up here. Apologies, I've paucity of time and we have breaking news coming in. But thanks very much to all of you for joining us at the moment, sharing your perspective.